This book is about the rapid advancement of cyber threats and the ever-growing possibility of death and destruction due to cyber weapons. Very interesting book. Talks a lot about early hacker culture. It talks about the growing number of risks within software and hardware, the various exploits that are becoming available, and how both governments and big business are reacting to the discovery of these kinds of vulnerabilities. For example, when it comes to governments, they tend to hoard vulnerabilities. They can use them to potentially spy on threats or other risks like that. Whereas big businesses have traditionally actually punished hackers for identifying and publishing information about vulnerabilities, even though oftentimes this was done in an effort to help businesses patch those exploits. But there's just this awkward back and forth where hackers are identifying risks, governments are trying to hoard them as secrets, and then businesses are punishing anyone that kind of lets the public know just how many risks or threats there may be with their various products and services. Of course, today, technology is being relied on to do more and more in society. All kinds of really critical infrastructure, including power grids, oil production, communication systems, shipping and logistics. All kinds of systems like this are increasingly relying on technology, and as a result, there's this ever-expanding attack surface for those that are able to use vulnerabilities to attack these kinds of systems. And all of this isn't without precedent. In fact, famously, the US used these kinds of exploits to derail Iran's nuclear ambitions. And ever since that occurred, governments around the world kind of realized the power of these kinds of exploits and have started to hoard what are called zero-day exploits, which allow for things like silently spying on smartphones, disabling power grids, altering elections, and all kinds of things like this that can cause havoc. And effectively, we have this new kind of arms race for who can maintain the largest stockpile of potential vulnerabilities, both to potentially use on offense or to use as a defensive measure in case other countries end up attacking their power systems or their oil production or things like that. So if, like me, you're interested in understanding the many implications of cyber threats and exploits and getting a sense of how things might play out in the future, consider reading This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends by Nicole Perlroth.